Hello and welcome. It's EUCROMA, European Cross Media Academy, which is this new initiative with the film school and a lot of other schools all over Europe. And we've been a team from January working on this project since January, and this is what we're going to present. It's the first time ever that it's been running, and I'm just going to say that. No, just keep on the slides. Fine. No, whatever. Earlier today we had the final presentation at 4 o'clock. So I think now we are officially done with this thing. So this is going to be a bit more relaxed and a bit more casual. We're just going to focus more on what we want to show you and less on what other people want to watch, want to hear. See some of the important people in the back, but that's okay. So. So the whole concept of this EUCROMA project is to do cross media, which is designing like more things that go onto more media. So our focus has been to create a game and an animation film, and to do that, the idea is to create something that is not only a game or not only a movie and then porting that into, like, taking a movie and making it into a game. It's usually crap and whatever. But the idea is to create a story world, which is this rich world or universe that can spawn a multitude of different products. And the two products that we've been focusing on is the game and animation film. And I think we're just briefly going to talk about what a story world is, but it's not really interesting. We're going to skip to our stuff later. But go. So basically think Star Wars, rich, huge story world. Even if you remove the characters and the story, you have a lot of things going on. You have a conflict. You have different fractions, you have a whole world. Everything can kind of happen there. And you can easily see how you can spawn different products from there. And so our focus has been trying to create something on a smaller scale, but kind of in that direction. And to do that, in a smaller scale, we've decided to focus on, I should be saying conflict, on taking some like really basic elementary conflict and kind of taking that and making that a big part of the story world that we create, because then it's a lot more obvious how you create this rich story world and how to focus it. And if you switch one more, then we want to take this story world and the very basic conflict in that thing and project it onto the characters, because we're not going to make Star Wars. We start in January, so we're going to make something small but hopefully very interesting. So we want to take conflicts and the story world and make things that we can project onto some actual characters that we can implement and use in products on a smaller scale. Yes. And to make those characters actually interesting, the idea about creating a story world is that we're not just going to make a movie and then it's over. It's kind of an ongoing thing, so it should keep continuing, so we can make one product now, one product in a year, and kind of continue. So we need some basic relations both between the characters, so we have some interesting relations to work with and develop throughout the process, but also just in the world and different things that can kind of happen with this conflict. So that's also basic core of it. But the interesting part is, of course, the story world that we have created. And the story world is called the Driftwoods. So imagine, it's not our world, it's a fantastical world, but a completely new one. Imagine the whole world just filled with jungle and wilderness and this weird green colorful place called the Driftwoods. Everything can kind of happen. It doesn't have rules or expectations or consequences. And this world is inhabited by creatures and monsters in all shapes and sizes called the Gargants. And anything, they can do whatever. They don't have consequences. They can just snap and do something different. But as an opposite thing, we have the human fortresses. Humans have a very different approach, and especially in this world, they are not you. It's a different kind of humans in this world. They have built huge fortresses and cities and villages, trying to isolate themselves from this, and being the complete opposite, trying to create logic, strict rules, and make a system for everything, where everything and everybody have a place in this world. And that's where the humans live. And then you have the complete opposite. And if we go one further, then we're not going to make that whole thing. So we're just going to focus on some characters that we can project these things onto. So we have David and Doris. David is very much perfect example of this human world. He's logical, ambitious, know his place, and following that. But Doris is a bit different. She's basically a widow, outsider, I think. She's still bound to all the rules, not doing anything wrong, but she's a bit disturbed. She doesn't fit that much in. And so our story kind of just take those two characters, but the idea is that we create a whole world and create a whole backstory and everything else, so we can do more. But our things is gonna look in those two. So if you go one further, then we have the Gargans, that are also characters like Doris and David, but they're way opposite and kind of weird. They just do whatever, and they can be big like this, but they can also be small and everything. And they're not necessarily the opposite, but if you imagine that the humans have kind of suppressed their feelings and just do whatever it feels, then the Gargans do whatever they feel, everything. And that's a huge contrast. So, of course, the story, surprise. David and Doris goes out to the wilderness and meet all the Gargans. So the short start of why we, like, the place that we enter this huge world is that David wants to take his sister to another village, fortress, further away, so they have to travel through the wilderness, and of course they're gonna get lost, and they're gonna be separated, and then get lost two different places in the wilderness, and they're gonna have two different experiences in this wilderness and with the Gargans. And that's our entry point.